Quora is by far my favorite site to be on. There's a lot of information being spread on this site and I just completely love it. And as always, Quora has a lot of interesting questions. Like for example, do the Khazars have any connection to the ancient Israelites? And I follow interesting people on Quora, very interesting people. And one of those interesting people is Angelis Revocatus. And this person writes, Khazars are some white Europeans and their diaspora, as the descendants of Japhet were as ancient, hence modern, Israelite, as the descendants of Sem or Shem are some black Africans and their diaspora. I showed you the Perkai the Rabbi Eliezer 24, and it reads there that Noah brought his sons and his grandsons and he blessed them with the several settlements, and he gave them as inheritance all the earth. And you can read there which color Shem, Ham and Japhet were. And this person also put something in there that I haven't dealt with in my last video that I showed you, this passage from the Talmud, because this is straight from the Talmud. And you read here in this passage from Perkai R. Eliezer, this passage up here that you see above here. A writing which was composed in Israel after the Islamic conquest is parallel in an Arabic text of approximately the same period, but gives some noticeably different information. The Persian historian Tabari quotes Ibn Abbas as saying born to Noah were Shem, whose descendants scholars are a black complexion with a light brownish undertone, Bayat, and a dark blackish brown, Utma. Ham, whose descendants scholars are true black, Sawat, and a few are a black complexion with a light brownish undertone, Bayat Qalil, and Japhet, whose descendants are very fair skinned, Al Shukra, and olive skinned, Al Humra. This is from the Tariq Al Tabari. You know, I think this is, by the way, very interesting. You know, all these words, this is interesting. And I think Bayat is kind of like boxwood brown or so. Or Utma even is boxwood brown. So it's like from light brown to dark brown. You know, and it's Sawat actually black. You know, and then, dark. You know. And then the brownish undertone, Bayat Qalil, and Japhet who are fair skinned, Al Shukra, and olive skinned, Al Humra. Now here we have the genealogy from Noah to the 12 patriarchs. So you see here that it contains all the races of humanity, Shem, Japhet and Ham, and all their sons. So you can find in this one, that's why it's red, the one that you need. This is Shem, and you can find eventually the children of Israel if you go back to Terah. So you got here Nahor and then Terah. This man up here, Terah, he was pretty sinful actually, to be honest. He sinned before the Most High Yahweh. And then you got Abram here. And then you got here Keturah, Hagar and Sarah. These are the wives. And then you got all the names here. All the names here, you see that? Sarah here, Isaac came out of Sarah. And Jacob came out of Isaac. And here is Esau, Eliphaz, Ruel, Juz, Jalam and Korah. And Eliphaz, this is the father of Amalek. Okay, this is from Esau. But we have to go to here then. Leah, Ziva, Bila and Rachel. These are the 12 tribes of Israel. These are. Okay, so you know. And by the way, 2 of them are by the way serf mates. So there is only 2 actually real wives as well. Like Leah is at least. These are the southern kingdom. And this is the northern kingdom. You got also Naphtali and Ephraim in the game. Joseph. You see that? That's Ephraim and Manasseh. That's Joseph up here. See that? And you see also all the peoples that you need to know of. You know, like, so you can take a look at this. You can pause this. You know, see where's Gomer? Let me find Gomer. Oh, this is Gomer. Here it is. Ashkenaz. See that? You can see all here. Magog, Medai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, Tiras, Uz, Hul, Gather. All these names, man. This is the Japhetic part of it. And Japhet shall dwell in the tents of Shem. Genesis 9 verse 27. So a lot of these are going to be part of these groups, you know. And a lot of these are also part of these groups, you know. They like, for example, let's see, which one? Hagar, for example. She is a Hamite. you know, and out of her comes Ishmael, you know, and you have all the sons of Ishmael here. These are exactly also 12 princes. Most High Yahweh promised wisdom towards them. So the answer to the question is no, the Khazars don't have any connection to the ancient Israelites. Here are the Khazars. So you got here Japhet. Now Central Asia, what I said like last time, Central Asia is like really here, you know, it's really up here, you know. So you got here a little bit of Edom, and Japhet eventually mixed with all these Edoms. But these are actually black races, actually, to be honest. Originally these are black races, you know. You talk about Esau here, you know. So, you know, if you're talking about black people, there were lots of black peoples here, you know. You know, Big Judah has, by the way, also something about, you know, the ancient Celts and stuff, and who were the ancient Celts. You should definitely take a look at that. Some interesting information there, man. You should look at it, you know, because a lot of this information is gonna be brought out nowadays, you know. There's Shem, you know, they were here. You know, there's Ham, there's Africa, there's Ethiopia, you see that? It's Cush, you know, they started here. And here, I showed you this too. This is Central Asia. This is Khazaria. You know, and you can see here the Black Sea, this is the Empire. You know, this is Kievan Russia. You know, Bulgars. You know, here's Persia. You see that? The Abbasid Caliphate. You know, this is all taken over by the Umayyad eventually. And the Umayyad were the ones that punched into Khazaria eventually as well. You know, and they, the Umayyads actually discovered that these people were pretty crazy, the Khazarians actually, and you can read that in Artukus's the 13th tribe. He can tell you all about that. A very well decorated and detailed article. Goes to Wikipedia. You can read that for yourself. Just reads a bit about Khazars. And here are the Israelites. The Israelites originated in the land of Canaan, but Canaan is of course not the people who are Israel. You know, like we took it from Canaan. Canaanites were the ones that lived in it, and the Israelites took it from Canaan and mostly back migrated to modern Africa, so West Africa, most of them, in addition to a few who expanded to other places such as Mohenjo-Daro, today's Arabian Peninsula, and Babylonia. So here's a map that is inspired by Sir Harry H. Johnston, and you see this says here the ancient distribution of Negro and Negroid races in the old world, and you see that lots of it here is black, and you see a little bit lighter skinned, and remember those words there and stuff like that. And here you see completely until Great Britain, you know, it is brown. You see that? And that's why you need to go to Big Judah, because he's gonna talk about this and stuff. And he's also been talking about, for example, X29, which you not even can find in the King James Version. It's somewhere on Google. They have buried it, but you can find it. It's interesting to read, you know, that talks about Paul, for example, going to Great Britain. You really should read that, you know. And he found their Druids, you know, and he talked with these Druids. Pretty interesting thing to read, you know. And you see that the black races, you know, the dark races, extend completely into India, into here. You know, you see these are Hamites and Shemites. This is all Japhetite, you know, and this is all Edomite nowadays, you know. So it's been shifting up a little bit because Shemites have been going to Asia eventually a lot. You know, you need to think about the people of Lot, the Moabites, the Ammonites, these people and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So you will see that. You know, this map's pretty interesting. You can find it somewhere. You know, Babylon would have been probably up here, you know. It's like here, a little bit is Babylon, you know, according to the maps. And here, this is a map of haplogroup E, which you can find. So it's either gonna be E1B1B or E1B1A, okay? And E1B1B is Africa, as we know it, the African man. And E1B1A is, you know, the descendants of Jacob, you know. So Jacob is E1B1A. Okay, so in Africa they farther expanded to mostly the whole of south of Sahara Africa. Yeah, so you see, well, you find them like here the most, you know, here actually you see that all this green and stuff like that. You see that completely here. You will find them everywhere. Here too, you know, in the Netherlands you will find them too, you know, everywhere, you know. And this is interesting, I think. This is another family tree of Abram, and you can find here Abram is haplogroup E, and it goes to Keturah, you know, and then Sarai, and then Hagar. Okay, this is Abram's wives and concubines. It's nicely set here. Sarai and Sarah eventually became Sarah, and then you got Isaac here, which is E1b. You see that? And then Ishmael is E1a. You see that? So his brother is E1a. Isaac himself is E1b, and then you got the people of Keturah are E2, and then it goes to Rebecca, and you see here Jacob is E1b1a, and then you got Esau is E1b1b, just like the Africans, you know. So you're gonna see that. You're gonna see that E1b1b is also African, you know. And then it goes on towards here. You see here, this is all subgroups of E1b1a, and here you got also a subgroup of E1b1a. All of it is the 12 tribes of Israel. And then we're going to here. It says here E1b1a was not present as late as 6,000 years ago in its supposed point of origin, proving it non-indigenous to the area. Genetic sequenced genome-wide DNA data from 4 people buried at the site of Shumlaka in Cameroon between 8,000 and 3,000 years ago. One individual carried the deeply divergent Y chromosome haplogroup A00 found at low frequencies among some present-day Niger-Congo speakers. But the genome-wide ancestry profiles for all 4 individuals are very different from the majority of West Africans today. Ancient human DNA from Shumlaka, Cameroon, in the context of African population history, 2019. So you see Eurasia, this is like 98%, and then back migration to Africa, and then you got all this, you know. So it goes all this. This is Esau and this is Jacob. So haplogroup E1b1a sub-Saharan. So it's green is 0 to 30, 30 to 70, 72 to 101. Alright, that's interesting. So this is a map. You know, and there's another post from this person. If you're going on Quora, check her out. Angelis is definitely an interesting person. And that's gonna be the video.